Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jawad. Thanks for watching my channel. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button down below, and next to it, hit the bell notification. I try to upload videos weekly depending on my schedule. And then when I do so, you'll be the first to be notified if you hit that bell button. Also, go to my webpage, www.totalhealththepage.com, and schedule a free 15-minute consultation with me. There's a button on the upper right-hand corner. If you click that, it will take you to my calendar, and you'll get a free 15-minute consultation to see what your case is and see if I can help you. Otherwise, enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jawad. In this short video, I'm going to answer a question that's asked a lot, and what are the benefits of taking in vitamin D3? And how much should I take for maximal benefit? Well, vitamin D is not really a vitamin. It's actually a prohormone. And when we supplement vitamin D3 with a supplement, we take in the precursor, it gets converted to active vitamin D3 through the liver. So this is why proper liver health is so important. It helps convert inactive vitamins and prohormone vitamins to active. Okay, so I'm just going to give you 3 benefits that vitamin D taken in as a supplement can benefit you. 1, it's important for the immune balance, to balance out the immune system. Now, what happens, how the immune system works, it's like a teeter-totter. We have what's called Th1 cells and Th2 cells. So what happens is that the Th1 cells, these are your first responders. Okay, this is the natural killer cells, otherwise known as the cytotoxic cells. These are the ones that attack first, the Th1. And then about 7 days later, the humoral cells, this is your antibodies. Okay, these are the memory cells. These are the guys, okay, so the second responders that remember what the first pathogens look like to respond second. Now, a lot of people have it flipped over, especially people who have autoimmune diseases. The people who have autoimmune, okay, their teeter-totter is flipped over, so this is why their immune system is constantly on, okay? So what happens is that we have these other cells called Treg cells. These T regulatory cells help balance out the teeter-totter, basically to shut them down, to say, okay, we're okay now, everything's under control. And it's influenced primarily by vitamin D. So when you have low vitamin D, this is where the immune response gets out of whack. Also, it helps regulate what we have Th17 cells. Now, Th17 cells are involved with the inflammation cascade. Okay, so Th17 cells basically tell the body, okay, we're inflamed, now let's throw out the cytotoxic cells for the first responders. And what vitamin D does, it helps balance out, it helps block the Th17 cells from happening. So your body's immune response is more in balance as opposed to being imbalanced. So again, just what happens is that you have the Th1 as the first responders, the Th2 as the antibodies 7 days later. The Treg cells say, okay, everything's in balance, heavily influenced by vitamin D. So when you take in vitamin D, this is how you balance out the immune system. Very, very important to the immune response, vitamin D. Also too, weight loss. Now they've done studies where proper amounts of vitamin D3 in the bloodstream has to be greater than 32 milligrams per milliliter. I recommend for my patients, the higher the better. 50, 60, 70, 80, you name it. The higher the better. However, because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, if you have poor liver health, okay, if you're not breaking it down, you may need to take a lot more vitamin D3 than was recommended. Because what happens, it's also involved with decreasing inflammation. So what happens is that when we're inflamed, or you're taking in food that's creating an insulin response, insulin does 2 things. 1, it lowers blood glucose, but also 2, it shunts excess amount of glucose into fat storage. So it makes your body more insulin resistant. So taking in vitamin D3 is going to help lower that insulin resistance, which again is going to help lower the fat production. Also, we have an indicator on blood work called C-reactive protein, CRP for short. And what CRP does, it measures the amount of inflammation in our blood or in our body. Vitamin D3 helps lower that. So again, when we have inflammation, we release cortisol, which is a hormone stored in the adrenal glands. Cortisol is a sugar. So what has to follow is that when cortisol is released, it has to release insulin from the pancreas. So we're in a chronic state of inflammation, which then we store fat. This is why people in times of stress, they get fat or they have a hard time losing fat because their body is in this chronic cycle of inflammation. Again, the Th1's out of balance, Th2's out of balance because the Treg cells that depend on vitamin D3 are not doing their job. They can't balance it out. So then it spins off to weight gain. Why? Because again, increased insulin. You're insulin resistant. Insulin does two things. Yes, it lowers blood glucose, but also too it stores. But also too, insulin is inflammatory, pro-inflammation, which doubles down on the C-reactive protein. Okay, so you see this constant cycle spins and spins and spins. So taking in vitamin D3 in ample amounts, I recommend. I live outside Chicago, not California or the coast. So I recommend minimal 10,000 IUs per day. Just again, and I would like to test it to see where your levels are. Because if you're not taking in enough vitamin D3, then you can see how your body's going to be off balance. Also too, sex hormones. Okay? Now, we have sex receptor cells throughout our body, especially in the reproductive system, in the glands, the men, the testicles, the females, the ovaries. They have sex receptor cells. So if you're low in vitamin D3, this is also why you may have a low sex drive. So with men, it helps fuel our testosterone. For females, it helps fuel your estrogen and progesterone levels. Because for the female hormonal cycle, for the first half of the cycle, you're more estrogen dominant because your body wants to lay down the uterine lining. And then when you have ovulation, yes, due to luteinizing hormone, then you got the spike of progesterone with testosterone and estrogen those first couple of days after ovulation. And if you don't get pregnant, then this is where the hormones crash and you have the menstrual cycle. But these sex cells have receptors on them in relation to vitamin D3. So by taking in vitamin D3, it's going to help not only your immune system, it's going to help you lose weight, and also too, it may increase your sex drive. So vitamin D3, taking 10,000 IUs per day minimal, is going to help your body in all these different ways. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the subscribe button down below, share with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.